Hey guys, welcome back to Amanda's Favorites. Today I am going to try to do justice to comparing these three planners for those that are trying to make decisions. A review that has been requested of me quite a lot is ERIN CONDREN and SIMPLIFIED. Compare those two weekly planners. So I'm doing an ERIN CONDREN horizontal because the SIMPLIFIED weekly is a horizontal, so I wanted to compare apples to apples as much as possible. And then when I posted that I was doing this on my Instagram, I had several people request that I also throw in InkWELL Press into this review, which if you guys know me, you know these are probably my top 3 favorite planner brands, but that's hard to say. Of my top 5, it's hard to really, pick out top 3. These are right up there. So anytime I'm doing a comparison of more than 2 planners at once, it's a difficult review. And I have done this before. I have reviewed like InkWELL Press, ERIN CONDREN, and PLUM paper, I think. And I will link some of those reviews down below in the description box if you're interested in them. Into any of those coil or spiral bound planners, I don't think I have compared the SIMPLIFIED weekly against them. And since that's requested, we're going to get into it today. But anytime you're comparing more than 2, it gets to be more difficult and complicated, especially the way my camera setup is, because I have a limited amount of space here and it's hard for me to see what I'm keeping in the screen and what I'm not, and just comparing 3 different formats versus 2 is harder. But I'm going to try to do this in the best way possible for you guys, and I hope that it will be helpful. Okay, so first let's start off by saying that all 3 of these are amazing, wonderful planners, and I would recommend any one of them without any hesitation. They are all quality planners. They all have good paper, and we're going to talk about paperweight. We'll do that like right off because that's one of the top questions. They have quality covers. They're wonderful companies. I'll recommend them all. There's not one I wouldn't recommend. It's just basically what is your personal preference on like layout, on colors, on size, on font, on all those things. So it just comes down to personal preference really, and which one works better with your way of thinking, your personality, and the season that you're in your life. Do not want to leave out of this review, since SIMPLIFIED is a bound book, obviously, and we all know ERIN CONDREN only comes her weekly in the coil bound, and InkWELL Press comes with an O-ring. But InkWELL Press also sells their weekly horizontal layout, which is called Flex, in a bound book. I'm not going to compare that one today. It is exactly the same inside as this one. I'm not going to be comparing their bound book today simply for space reasons. Because of laying it out, it's easier to have the coil, but the inside of the InkWELL Press bound book is identical to the inside of their coil bound book. I also have a review of these 2 up, and I will link that down below in the description box. So if you're wondering the differences in these and how I feel about the bound book, I have reviews on that. All right, first we're going to talk about size, and then we'll get into paperweight and pen testing, and then we will get into layout. So obviously the SIMPLIFIED is smaller. This book, I measured the pages, and you're looking at 7 3/4 by 5 3/4 if you are measuring the page itself. The book itself, and all these dimensions are on their site, is 8 by almost 6.5. And then your ERIN CONDREN and your InkWELL Press are your typical 7 by 9 planners. So they both have about the exact same page. Their pages are 7 by 9, InkWELL Press and ERIN CONDREN. So you obviously have a smaller space to write in your SIMPLIFIED book, but it is also much, much more portable. If you need a portable, slim book to carry around, this is very portable. Okay, we're going to just go straight into the pen testing and paperweights first. Like I said, it's going to be a lot more difficult for me to be able to show you guys 3 right here. Here is my pen testing in InkWELL Press. This is my pen test page in SIMPLIFIED. And I did not do just a pen test page in my ERIN CONDREN because I have written all over it, and I will show you that. So let's talk about the paperweight though. ERIN CONDREN is 80-pound paperweight. Emily Lay is 70-pound. And InkWELL Press is 140 GSM, which equates to about 95 pound. So if we're equating it to pound weight, since Simplified and ERIN CONDREN list theirs in pound, then ERIN CONDREN's 80 pound, Simplified 70 pound, and InkWELL Press 95 pound. So you can see a big difference, 70, 80 pound, 95 pound. And you can definitely see that in writing. All three of these are nice papers. They feel nice to me. I don't like a really slick paper. None of these are slick. They feel nice to me. The paper that has the most tooth being like a little bit of texture to the page, is the ERIN CONDREN, and I actually love having tooth to my paper. And so I actually love the ERIN CONDREN paper. Now, if you ask me which paper is my favorite, it's kind of a toss-up because I love the tooth in the ERIN CONDREN paper, and I do love the way that it takes the pen, which means it absorbs the pen a little bit to me, and I like that. But there is nothing like writing on 140 GSM or 95-pound paper, you guys. It feels luxurious every time you write on this paper. It almost feels like cardstock. Nothing shows through on InkWELL paper. So let me show you that about the pen test. InkWELL paper, I do all my pens in here. That is even a Sharpie with a check mark because I wanted to show you how thick InkWELL Press paper is. And so those are all my pens, and if you turn it over, you can see that you can see absolutely nothing. I mean, you can barely see a mark from the Sharpie check mark. I used to check off each one of my days in InkWELL Press with a Sharpie marker, and you could barely even tell. And you can barely even see it there. I mean, you can't see anything showing through this paper. Like I said, it almost feels like cardstock, and it's very luxurious. It is a luxurious paper to write on. Let's talk about the Simplified paper now. Simplified paper out of these three planners is the lowest pound weight, 70 pound, 80 pound, 95 pound again. So Simplified, I have tried all these pens in here. I've written like just some weekly planning in here for other videos that I've made. And you can see here to the back of the page that you can see some ghosting. But with 70-pound paper, that is just normal. Her paper, though, does feel very thick and very substantial. It has a nice feel to it and a little bit of tooth. Not as much tooth as ERIN CONDREN. And I would say that InkWELL is the smoothest of all three of these papers with the least amount of tooth. But it is still not a slick paper. It's not slick at all. And so it still has that kind of like absorption of the pen somewhat, which I like. So there is the back of the pen test in the Simplified planner. So if you write all over a page, that's the way it's going to look on the back when you go to write on it for the next week. In your ERIN CONDREN, I feel like it takes pen really well. This is the ERIN CONDREN dual tip markers, and this blue is the Pilot G207. And let me find the back. So you can see how I just have written all over mine and marked it up a ton. And if you just want to see like the back of a month when a whole page is written on, that's what you can see through, not much. I consider there to be very minimal ghosting in an ERIN CONDREN, and I use the ERIN CONDREN vertical for my weekly, and I have for almost a full year now. And so the back of this page was all, no, that was the monthly calendar. Sorry guys. Let's go here. The back of this page is all written on, and you can see in here there's very minimal ghosting. All of that is written on. So right here you can see how much writing was on that page. All of that. And then there's the back. So ERIN CONDREN being 80-pound paper, I feel like you don't have any ghosting issues. Yes, you can see a tiny bit, like you can see writing from the other side here, but I don't even call it ghosting issues. So there is your 3 paper markup. From the pound weight, the paper performs exactly how you would think. Being InkWELL Press being the highest pound weight, meaning you can write on it, you know, and have nothing show through, almost with a Sharpie marker. And being Simplified being the least pound weight out of these, and having some ghosting. But that's exactly what you would expect. Let's talk about layout. This is a horizontal layout, and I planned a week in each one of these guys, just with our activities that I already knew about, not with to-dos written down. Okay, so here's the very same week in August, planned out in both of these planners. And I might have forgotten to write some stuff in one of these weeks. What week did I do? Oh, okay, I did a different week. I accidentally wrote it the wrong week in the InkWELL Press, but they're 1 week apart, but the same activities are planned out. So there you go. It's really hard to compare all 3 in here. So let's just compare 2. And one person asked me, you know, which one has the most space to write? Hands down per day, InkWELL Press has the most space to write. InkWELL Press, they have the tiniest headers and margins. They have used most of the page real estate, as you can see. And so you have the most room per box per day to write in your InkWELL Press. I'm sorry, guys, that I keep bumping the camera. But like I said, for my filming setup, 3 planners is hard to do. Here we go. When I plan in the InkWELL Press, which I have before, even this year, but I planned for several months last year, my normal weekly planning in InkWELL Press, you can see my to-do list just goes in here on the day. And any planned appointments or go-tos that we have to go to that day are in my 3 boxes. That way they stand out to me. So that's how I planned in my InkWELL Press. Anything that I had to go to or appointments went in the 3 boxes. So they stood out to me. Those were my appointment boxes. And then just these were my to-dos. Down here you have a nice space for a weekly focus with 5 hexagon numbers there and a note spot. Of course, you could use that for just 2 different weekly to-do lists also. So that is your InkWELL Press right there. And so this week, without any to-dos written in yet, it would just be my appointments, and you can very quickly look at your week and see what's going on. People use these boxes, though, for so many different things, and I have mentioned that already in many other videos and on Instagram, but here are some ideas that I mapped out in here and have shared on Instagram before. People use them for their top 3 for the day, like top 3 things they have to get done. You could put your teenager's work schedule, your work schedule. You could do a mood tracking. You could track your weight, calorie totals or points, a sleep tracker. These are just all ideas. Workout, weather, dinner, step numbers, a water tracker, gratitude, appointments, like I use them, errands, appointment, like I use mine for all that. So those are just a lot of different ideas on ways that you can use those 3 boxes. I personally love the 3 boxes. The only thing I find lacking in InkWELL Press is the colors. Some people love the muted, really calm colors. I just prefer to have a little bit brighter, happier colors. It helps my mood. And so that's the only thing that I'm hoping from InkWELL Press. They have, you know, amazing paper. They have an amazing layout, in my opinion. I kind of prefer a different font than that scripted font, but that's just so personal. That's just my opinion, and I prefer brighter colors. They have all their holidays written on the day right here, really small. I love the way they do that. It doesn't take up a big space, and yet it is listed on your day, and you know what's going on. Okay, so the week I planned was in August, so we will go back there. Then, if you are comparing it with ERIN CONDREN, you have a smaller box space to write in. You can tell it is smaller. So InkWELL Press, your boxes are a little over 2 inches long, and you have pretty much the whole page going up to like 7 inches. Your ERIN CONDREN boxes are about 1 3/4 of an inch, and then in length they're about 6 inches. So because ERIN CONDREN has a bigger header at the top, and because they have left margins on the side. Your boxes are just a little bit smaller than the InkWELL press, but still substantial space in my opinion. So when I'm using the ERIN CONDREN horizontal to plan my week, this is just how I would do it. I would write my appointments once again over here. That's just a way that my appointments or my go-tos for the day stand out to me. That works with my lifestyle. And then I would put my workout up here. And I didn't show even where I would put my workout here. I would probably put it right up top, also right there. And then I would just have my to-dos going down here. Something to note in InkWELL Press is they have this tiny dot. It's like a magic dot, I call it, at the top. And then another guiding one right here on the page. And they have it on both sides. And what those tiny magic dots are for is if you want to draw a line all the way down your page, which I did some with my planning in InkWELL Press last year. You can draw a line all the way down your page easily with a ruler with those guiding dots, and you can divide this big box into two other boxes. So some people would use it for work and school, or home and work, or just different things. So basically then this big box would be divided into three. So that's kind of another nice option with InkWELL Press. I love the ERIN CONDREN colors though. They make me happier. I love the font in ERIN CONDREN. It's more to my liking. So that's just a personal preference basically. And then you have the basic same setup on this side because you have your Friday, Saturday, and Sunday again. And then both their note sections are at the end of the week. So these are very similar in setup, but very different in color and the look and the feel of the page. Now let's look at our Simplified, and then I'll show you the monthly layouts too. So Simplified is quite different in that there are basically, no lines on your layout like these. So I'm going to lay it next to ERIN CONDREN for just this comparison right here. You do not have kind of that division each day. So you have kind of a blank header space each day, which you could put something in. So if you like it to be a little bit more open, you have all that blank space up there. You can make your own header for your day. I love the colors in Simplified. Love the colors. Your line spacing is a little bit smaller because this book is smaller. So you have to write a little bit smaller. These two lines are really close to being the same. InkWELL Press and ERIN CONDREN, and you have a bigger space in your lines. These lines are a little bit smaller since the page is smaller, and they want you to be able to fit in, enough room for all your appointments and such. How they set this up is your appointments to go on the left-hand side, and then your to-dos would go on the right-hand side with the tick-off boxes. Then there is this big box for dinner. There's like a kettle pot there. But you can always ignore that kettle pot. Like I would write in here my workout every day personally, and other people might use it for, the weather, their workout, their calorie total, whatever you want to use it for. So just because it has the kettle pot on there, you don't have to use it for dinner. Of course, always make a planner work for you and for your life. Then you have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday on this side. So that's different from ERIN CONDREN and InkWELL Press. Okay. Because they have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday on the left. Then they have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and notes. But over here you have Thursday, Friday, and then you have Saturday, Sunday, have a really tiny spot. And then you have no notes area. You have no notes area. Now there are notes pages at the very back of the planner, as there are with these other planners too. And I'll go over that a little bit, but there is no note space weekly, and there's no notes like in between your weeks or in between your months. So the only note space in your Simplified is at the very end of the planner. And since this is a bound book, it does come with one ribbon bound marker. Your ERIN CONDREN comes with the ERIN CONDREN ruler, of course. Although I prefer to buy the ERIN CONDREN mini snap-in bookmarks. That's my favorite way to mark my place in ERIN CONDREN. And then InkWELL Press also comes with a ruler. So Saturday and Sunday, you have to take into account, if this would work for you, that Saturday is very small, and so it's just some lines and then your dinner. And then Sunday, you only have 3 lines. Then you have her weekly prep, and which are 4 things: plan meals for the week, tidy up for a clean slate on Monday, write task appointments for the week, and fill your tank. Enjoy what matters most. And then a dinner box, of course. So her weekly prep takes up a huge space of your Sunday. In my opinion, I really wish it wasn't there because Sunday is already so small, and I rarely only have 3 items to write on a Sunday, and I wouldn't have any room for my to-dos. And that's why I really haven't ever consistently for any long period used the Simplified Weekly. I've used the Simplified Daily for several years to plan to do my daily to-do list in. Several years. But I have never stuck with using the Simplified Weekly for any extended period of time for my personal planning. And that is because it's just not big enough for me. It's just not big enough. So that's what it comes down to for me. But each one of your weeks, and of course you do have these tabs, which are beautiful in her happy stripe colors. ERIN CONDREN, you have tabs in her monthly colors. ERIN CONDREN colors change monthly and they flow with the seasons. And every month is a different color. And if you pick the colorful, that color is highlighted. But she on every month like that. There you go. Change in months. But you can also pick a neutral in ERIN CONDREN and not have all that color. It's just a lot less color. And InkWELL Press, they have 4 color palettes that they run through for the whole year. So they repeat those 4 color palettes for the whole year. And they're just repeated over throughout the year, those 4 color palettes, and the months change based on that. Emily Lay doesn't have any color palettes that change per month. Every day of the week is a different color, and that stays consistent throughout the entire planner. Then each month is a different color, but that's not highlighted really anywhere else except for on your monthly layout. And that month's color is right here and is right here on the tab. And then that's not like carried throughout the month because like I said, each one of her days is given a different color, and that is consistently throughout the planner all the way to the end. Something else to note is this is the academic version that starts in August. Now, if you buy the version that starts in January, your monthly colors don't match up the same because January is going to start here. So the colors are the same and in the same order, but you're going to have January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. And those are going to be your colors. So basically your monthly colors change in Simplified on your monthly layout based on whether you pick the academic or whether you pick the calendar year starting in January instead of August. Okay, here is the Simplified monthly layout. You have a note section, you have a huge header at the top, you have a simplicity tip every month, and you have a previous month and next month up here. Let's look at the ERIN CONDREN layout is right on your tab. So you turn right to it when you turn to the tab, as you do in Simplified also. And you have your full layout here. You have a big header with your color if you pick the colorful. You have a view at your next month. You have a note section. So just here's something to note. You know, Simplified, your notes is on the left because that just changed that. You go through Tuesday on the left side of the page. This one you go through Wednesday on the left side of the page because your notes are on your right. And then InkWELL Press, they also have purple for September, but your notes are also on the right like ERIN CONDREN. And so you have through Wednesday, just like ERIN CONDREN on your left here. So those are very similar. These boxes are very similar sizes. These might be a teeny bit bigger because ERIN CONDREN has a teeny bit bigger header, but not a huge difference. And you have your next month down here just like ERIN CONDREN. So these monthlies are very similar. In between months of InkWELL Press, at the end of a month, you have a Notes and Ramblings dot grid page. Then you have your next month to start, October monthly layout. Then you have a mission board for every month, a plan and focus for every month, and 3 habit trackers for every month. And then you go into your weekly layout. If you want to know more about these detailed monthly pages and a full walkthrough of each of these planners, I have full walkthrough videos on each of these planners. I will list those down in the description box, so you can certainly go look those up and get more information. I didn't want to make this video so long by going through every detail of every planner. At the end of InkWELL Press, you have like a bill tracker, some project planning pages, some travel planning pages, a gift list page, and that's under an extra tab. And then you get a few just graph grid pages. Then you have 2019 to plan ahead. So if you're making appointments for the year ahead, you can go write those in before you have your next planner. You have a really good functional pocket on both sides. Then you have a third pocket down the middle, which I think is genius. So a big pocket right down there. And then you have one of my favorite things about InkWELL Press, a great accordion pocket back here. That's really heavy duty and holds their beautiful sewn journal. So if you need extra notes pages, their sewn journal is just graph grid paper all the way through. That's all it is. And it is beautiful. It's crafted beautifully and holds up really well. I've used these before. It's sewn on the spine and it fits perfectly in your InkWELL Press, and it does not bulk up your planner. It's like it's meant to be there. And your InkWELL Press comes with a band, and it really still lays well and flat to write in with the sewn journal in there. So that's the InkWELL Press extras. Let's go through kind of the ERIN CONDREN extras. ERIN CONDREN, you have some beautiful quotes and color throughout. You always have your whole year at a glance. InkWELL Press had that in the beginning too, and InkWELL Press had some goal planning pages. Sorry, I forgot to show you that, but I will link those full review videos down below. ERIN CONDREN has 12 boxes you can use for whatever you want. So people use this for just a myriad of different things. I love those boxes. Then for each month, you go into your monthly and you have your pages at the end. Sorry, I forgot to show you that. So at the end of a month, you have one lined page to write on. That's it. And then you go right into your next month. So at the end of each month, you have one lined page to write on. If you go to the back of your ERIN CONDREN, you have a notes tab. You have a couple lined pages. You have some dot grid pages. You have some coloring pages. You have a contact section with a tab. Then you have your planning ahead section like InkWELL Press also had for making appointments in the year up ahead. And then you have your pocket at the end. This one is a functional, good pocket. This pocket doesn't hold much but smaller papers, or you have to fold your paper up pretty small. It's cute, but just doesn't hold a lot. ERIN CONDREN also comes with a zipper pouch that you can snap in or not, or leave it out. I don't have it in this planner, I'm sorry, but it's a great thing that comes with your planner. ERIN CONDREN also comes with 4 sticker pages at the back of your planner. Okay, I tried to grab some of the extras to show you. These pages plus one more, these sticker pages come in the back of your ERIN CONDREN Life Planner, and I always cut them out because it's just easier for me to use. And in the planner I'm actually using, I cut them out and stick them in a pocket. I am just not using this planner at the moment, so they weren't in here. Every ERIN CONDREN planner also comes with a really thick, nice, easy functional zipper pouch that's very flat. And then it comes with a coil clip connector. So you can either use it in your planner or not. And I love that option. This is a really good command 3M tape. You stick it on the back of your zipper pouch and you can put it in your planner wherever you want. So that comes with the ERIN CONDREN as well as the ERIN CONDREN ruler. ERIN CONDREN, as you also know, most of you, has the removable snap-on, snap-off covers. So you can change your covers out to whatever you want. The dashboards, of course, you can write on. Simplified, let's go through the extras. So Simplified comes with one page of very cute hand-drawn stickers, which I've used a lot of mine in the planner. It comes with this little pocket right here that you could stick some extra paper or your stickers in. All the Simplified planners are navy on the end pages this year, on the front and the back. And then you have Emily Lay's motto, "A standard of grace, not perfection," printed there. Their covers are just amazingly beautiful and cannot be beat, in my opinion, as far as cover beauty goes, just down to the smallest detail. They feel wonderful in your hand. They feel just like a delight in your hand. You have a nameplate page, and then you have a letter from Emily. You have how to use your simplified planner and the process of simplifying. You have a look ahead, because this is academic. You get 2018 and 2019 year at a glance. Then you get all your holidays listed for 2018, 2019, which I really love this feature in a planner. I love that they put this in here. I like to highlight the holidays that, fall on different days every year that are not the same, like when daylight savings time begins, when Easter is, when Mother's Day is, Father's Day, those holidays that are not the same every year. So then I go and mark those. Well, they're already marked in the planner, but I like to highlight them or mark them even more, and then with like a colored pen or something. And then I just like to be able to glance at this page and easily see them also. So that's a page I'm a big fan of. You can have some simplified prep work to do, which was added in this year. Then more simplified prep work. Then you have a simplified prep work, the Simplicity Challenge checklist. Then you have a checklist you can make yourself here, or like your yearly bucket list. And then you go into your first month of your monthly layout. And then every month you just go right into your week. So like I said, all the notes pages are at the back. I did want to show you something with the monthly tabs. Every month they get bigger. So it's kind of an interesting design. Your color every month just shows a little bit bigger every single month. And like I said, the color for that month is just the script for color for that month's layout right there. But by the end, your monthly tab is the entire page right here and right there on the back. Just to let you guys see, the tab does continue on the back of every month. So they're longer and then they get shorter. That's just a really interesting way that this planner was tabbed. I don't see any problem with it. I like the tabs and to be able to find the months quickly. I just wanted to point that out to you guys. I also wanted to point out how holidays were written in here. The holidays are right next to the date. So like this is Independence Day. They matched it to the color of that day. All Thursdays are green. So I love that little attention to detail. The kettle pot every day is matched the color to the color of that day. So I really do like those attention to detail things that make your planner just feel well thought out and really special. At the end, you have a good chunk of notes pages since there are no monthly note pages in between. You have a really good chunk back here, and it just says notes on the left-hand side of every single one. Just says notes, and they're all lined. And then I had just done another pen test back here, I think, of the Pilot Precise pens. And just a heads up, if you were ever looking at Emily Lay's Pilot Precise pens, this Pilot Precise pen pack are the exact same pens, but they're off Amazon. But in her pack, you're going to get a navy blue instead of a purple, and you're going to get a yellow instead of a red. But these are the colors that come in the Amazon Pilot Precise V5 pen pack. Those are one of my favorite pens. And here's what your pen test would look like on the notes pages. Right there. So that is your simplified planner. I feel like I did not show you the beginning pages of InkWELL Press, and I showed you everything else. So I want to show you, it comes with a ruler, a letter from Tanya, your nameplate page. You get some setup videos with the InkWELL Press also. You have all your 12 months laid out for important happenings, big events. Of course, you don't have to use it for dates. It could be when bills are due. It can be anything you want to use it for. Then you have a goals layout divided into 6 categories. Then you have a breakdown of those 6 categories of goals for 3-month check-in, 6-month, 9-month, and 12-month check-in of how to break down and achieve your goals broken up quarterly. You have a year at a glance for 2018. Then you have like her quote of the year. Tanya always comes up with a quote of the year. I love that one by Emily Dickinson this year. And then you go straight into January. So now I think I've covered all the important pages in these 3 beautiful planners. I don't feel like I've done any of them justice, or this video would be like 2 hours long. Go ahead if you're interested in one of these and check out the individual videos that I'm linking down below, because I go into much more detail about each one. But I hope that this overview helped. They are all, beautiful and come with really different layouts, even though they're all horizontal. In my opinion, you know, the layouts are really different the way they did horizontal. You have a different amount of space and you have very different colors and very different features in each one of the planners. And so I hope that this gave you guys some clarity. Let me know down in the description box below if you use any of these planners and what your favorite feature about the one that you use is, because I'm really interested to hear that. I love to hear those types of things. Okay guys, thanks for watching and bearing with me on this video with all my camera bumping. Happy planning, and we'll see you next time.